Well, that's one load of clothes done. I decided I better wash some clothes after I realized I hadn't washed any clothes since the last week in August. The second load's in the dryer right now. Tomorrow's project is going to be cleaning up some of these dishes. Here you can enjoy the Disgustorama. And here are two little treasures that came in the mail today. Those on the left I'll leave to people who know what those things are. And we have then the Seagate Backup Plus. And here you see the Seagate Plus doing its thing with the time machine. It's a 4 terabyte backup. The first backup's going to be 558 gigabytes. So hello YouTubers, Joe Kersey here on December 7th, Pearl Harbor Day in the United States, and it's at just about 1400 Eastern Time. Well, it's been a day of high adventure here, as you can see by the few clips there at the front. I may have mentioned that the construction folks have been digging a hole out front there near the concrete island. And as I suspected, yesterday despite the heavy rain, they put up wooden forms, and today they poured concrete to make the island even bigger. So that's kind of a F.U. Joe for Free Joe's driveway, but we knew that was going to be the case. But it's interesting that they, well, okay, here's the real reason that it happened this way, is that the project divided where the current island was built. You know, that's the Eagle people constructed that. These are the Kokosing people constructing the extension. Plus they had some electrical trucks out there doing stuff. I couldn't quite figure what that was. It was too cold to go down. I didn't want to get bundled up and my heavy clothes on to go down there anyway. So you'll have to just accept my verbal description of that. That's almost redundant, isn't it? Verbal description. Well, I'm not sending you a written message, so yeah. Currently we stand at 31 gigabytes backed up out of 558. Paul was off Monday and he's off Tuesday, and he came over on Monday to collect. He had a couple of photographs that were in some drawers that I remembered them when he brought them out of hiding. So he collected those. Three of them from when he was in high school. He was a hot number, I'll tell you. Well, enough of that. Also, he wanted to get his mother's punch bowl, or as he has always called it, Mom's punch bowl. I remember the punch bowl, other than the fact it belonged to his mother, there was nothing exceptional about it. But anyway, he's got it now. I got my American Electric power bill straightened out and paid them about $280. So, you know, maybe they'll come read my meter, maybe they won't. It's been fun in the morning, around 7:30 to 8. The wild turkeys come flying over the bridge and down and land on the creek bank, and they look like giant flying bowling balls. It's great fun to watch them. I have here, beware the pogonip. I was going to do this about 2 nights ago when we had one of these misty ice fogs come in. Beware of the pogonip. The pogonip's an ice fog. Then on Monday night, for 5 hours, Tony Pincham and I Skyped, and he had been on a shopping trip in 3 or 4 different venues on a bus tour. Well, no, I don't. Maybe he was driving around with his brother-in-law and sister. But anyway, he had been shopping, and during one of these little Christmas displays in a town, there were 2 guys. And they were holding up signs saying, Muslims support your Christian celebrations. And he thought that was very courteous of them and gracious of them. So he went over to thank them. And then one of the fellows was clearly of Arabic background. And so was, in all likelihood a native. He's born into being a Muslim. And then the other fellow had converted. Now, whether he converted from Christianity or just converted from being more or less nothing, it's hard to say, but he was clearly a UK guy. And as is often the case with converts, this guy then started proselytizing Tony, saying, yeah, we support your right to celebrate this, but, it's not the true religion, and blah, 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 that sort of line of stuff. Well, there's really nothing productive comes out of that. So then Tony and I got talking about, Tony started saying, the Quran doesn't say this and that about things. And I said, I said, well, yeah, it does sometimes. I said, have you read it? He says, no. I said, you have a copy of it? He says, no. I said, well, it's a fast read. It's very repetitive. It was designed to be memorized. And I've remarked on this before, many videos back. But, up to about 40% through, the tone is basically it's neither violent nor nonviolent. As you move along, the surahs, the chapters get shorter and shorter and shorter and shorter. And while there might be a few overt references to killing the non-believers, rather than tolerating them, or extracting some sort of tax from them, the overall tone becomes increasingly more strident and violent. So I think it's worthwhile for anybody to read the Quran. I've mentioned before, I have a lot of time for the Muslim attitude of submitting to God's will, without that whining stuff that you often find in Christianity. I'm a good person, why do bad things happen to me? That kind of crap. They don't seem to trouble themselves too much with the theodictic problem. Okay. I think that might have things covered. Oh, no. Paul came up also on Tuesday with his television set. He had been having trouble setting it up in terms of getting it to find channels and so forth. And so we set it up here on the table, and we ran through the setup menu about 5 times, and then finally, after that, we were able to get the various broadcast channels that are available in this area. So he got his TV set up, so that's good. So on that note, we're up to 60 gigabytes backed up of 558. So on that note, I'll say bye-bye, YouTubers.